Hey guys, today on Design Thinking TV, we're going to learn about something that's really important to the design thinking process, which is high resolution prototyping. High resolution prototyping is creating a version of your product that is close to its final form. So if you're making an app, this would be a working app or some version of it that users can interact with. If you're making a physical product, this might be something you machine or 3D print. It's something that approximates your final product. It's something that you can use to tell a story about what your design is. The problem with teaching high resolution prototyping is that it can't be taught in a 20-minute or even an hour workshop. It takes a lot of time to craft a high quality prototype, and it can take a variety of skills and people working together to create a high resolution prototype. What we decided to do instead is teach students how to work with an expert. We created a workshop in which students consult an expert about what they need to make their prototype. We decided to have that expert work with them while they create their prototype to learn how to receive feedback from that person as they build their product. It's important to remember that building is an important part of learning about design. So the expert shouldn't do the building for you, but they should guide you along the way as you do it. They should help to inform you what is and isn't possible, and then answer any questions that you might have about the process. The format of the workshop is simple. You bring in an expert, and the students will have to explain a certain amount of constraints to that expert regarding their design. They will receive feedback from the expert on what is and what is not possible in what they're asking for, and then they will revise their constraints accordingly. After that, they will build a prototype under the guidance of that expert. We decided to do a cooking video because the constraints are really straightforward. It's ingredients and equipment. The situation we had was to make a common dish vegan. The expert in question is a vegan, me, who cooks regularly and whose equipment the students will be using. The expert will provide feedback along the way and hopefully make a really tasty dish. Okay, guys, what was the desired product or recipe that you guys came up with that you wanted?
We would like to make fried rice.
Okay, so looks like we're making fried rice. I like this choice because it's very versatile, and I think it's a realistic final product for you to make, in my opinion, as the expert. So what are some of the constraints that you guys think you have for this recipe in terms of equipment and ingredients? And you can consult an online recipe too if you want.
Wait, are we assuming that it's going to be vegan?
No.
Or is that going to be?
Yeah, so
Wait,
maybe state it what it would look like before it was vegan and then after.
So should I like this?
Yes. Yeah, and you guys can come up with stuff too that you think you would expect to be in fried rice.
Okay, so we're going to need rice,
Okay.
eggs, and what else, like vegetables?
Okay. What vegetables?
Carrots.
Like carrots, yeah.
Okay, so now let's. What would we have to modify to make it vegan?
We would have to find a substitute for the eggs.
Right. Okay. Perfect. So we have to substitute eggs. So now this is where I come in and talk about what is or is not realistic. So all of this is very realistic, except I don't think I have peas. All of the other ingredients I have. So for eggs, we're gonna have to discuss, since I don't have an egg alternative in my house, and they can be sometimes pretty expensive to make, and I don't have flax seeds or anything like that, we can talk about an alternative source of protein. So you think like ground fake meat would be a good alternative to egg in this situation?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And we could also substitute peas. So I guess the important aspects of any meal are, carbs, which we could get covered by the rice, protein, which is in the impossible meat, and then fat, which is also in the impossible meat. Is there anything else? Yes, so equipment. What do you guys think we're going to be needing to use in terms of equipment? And that's another constraint that would go in round one.
I think we're going to need a pot to cook the rice in, or like a sauce pan.
And a stove.
Stove. Anything else?
A frying pan.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Utensils.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, true.
And one other thing I think you guys neglected was, I mean, you can use sesame oil for the flavoring, but you need to use canola. Oh, I guess I'll put that down here. That's one of the things I would add. So canola oil or some similar neutral oil will serve as the bulk of the frying material, because you don't want to use sesame oil for all of it because it would taste disgusting. As far as this equipment goes, I can expedite that process because I have an instant pot, so it can be done in maybe like 10 to 12 minutes, less than that, or slightly more than that. Well, if we just call it a rice cooker, and that way we don't have to wait super long for the rice to cook. Frying pan, would you guys want, so there's two options. One, I have a really big frying pan that would make it easier to work with. But I also have a cast iron skillet, which arguably would make it more flavorful and cook faster and give it a nicer crisp, but it's also going to be more difficult to keep it inside because it's smaller. So what do you guys think?
I think the big pan is the better option for what we're doing.
Go safe.
It is a safe option.
Big pan. Okay. So now we have started with one round of constraints that you guys came up with, and you talked to me, the expert, because I know what ingredients and materials I have in my house, so I was able to offer my input into how we can modify the original recipe into something that's achievable in my house. Okay, guys, so you're going to cut and prep the vegetables that you guys came up with. If you need any guidance on how to do that, I'm here to help. I've placed cutting boards and bowls for you to put the ingredients once they're done prepping, and then after that we'll move to the cooking stage. So if you smash the garlic with the flat of the blade, it'll help you peel it faster and also enhance the flavor because it'll get the juices out of it.
Like
So
so.
don't cut yourself.
That's the goal.
Smash a little harder than that. You see, like completely crush it. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Smashed.
That is a smashed piece of garlic.
No, it wasn't focused.
good model of how high resolution prototyping goes. You want to play it? So we had a lot of fun making that video. The reason we chose cooking was because it's really straightforward with the constraints, how to revise them, and it's easy to guide people along the way. But this technique can be applied to any field. It doesn't have to just be cooking. It could be sewing, machining, coding. As long as you have an expert who knows something about that field, you could bring them in, have them run a workshop, and have students tell them what they want to make, have the expert tell them how they can make that more realistic, and then have that expert guide them through the process of making that. Important thing to remember is that the expert isn't there to just teach them about whatever it is. Like, this video isn't about cooking. It's about learning how to learn how to cook. So if they're learning how to do machining, they should be learning how to gain information from that expert in a short amount of time, and how to take their feedback in stride and use it to improve their product. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.